A pleasant evening to everyone. So, hello to our Facebook and YouTube viewers and participants. So, I could see many students from many various universities and schools. So, good evening to all of you, and welcome to the StackLeague Mozilla PH Tech Session, Mozilla Common Voice, Crowdsourcing Speech Data for Public Good. I am May, and I will be your host for tonight's event. So, I would like to remind everyone that if you have any questions regarding Stack League or anything about the session, you can type them in the comment section and we'll address them later at the Q&A session. I know we are all so excited for today, but before we dive into tonight's session, we would like to give you an overview of Stack League. So Chloe Arellano of Stack League will help me with that. So take it away, Chloe.
Thank you, May. Good evening, everyone. Again, I am Flo, and I will be sharing with you a quick overview of StackLeague. StackLeague is the Philippines StackLeague is the Philippines' largest online programming league, and our mission is to develop programming leaders that inspire the nation into coding. The tournament is powered by StackTrack's fully automated talent analytics and assessment platform. Now, in its second competitive year, Stack League wouldn't be possible without the support of our partners. We are very fortunate to be supported by the top companies in the industry. For silver sponsor, we have Coding Chips, and for bronze sponsors, we have Microsoft, Deltec Systems, Upper.ph, and Recruit Day Inc. For our media partners, we have Spark Up, Apps Gadget, WhatsApp Pilipinas, Corner Magazine PH, Android Disc, Megabytes, Backend News, Bluewing, and Manila Republic. The same goes for community partners who help the league reach as many programmers in the country as possible. Here they are. This pioneering programmer league was launched last year, March 16, 2021, and is now gathering over 10,000 tech talents across the country to test their leadership, perseverance, coding, and coding skills with the promise of nationwide media recognition, lots of prizes, thousands of tech job opportunities, and access to invitation-only events. The league's year-round cash prize pool is now at 10 million pesos in the duration of the whole competition. One of the highlights in Stack League is weekly stack race for both individual and team categories. Each week, the top 10 challengers and top 3 teams are announced all across Stack League's social media platform to recognize the challengers who stayed on top of the rankings. Apart from this, we also have the Stack League featured programmer and team campaign. The weekly top 10 challengers and the top 3 teams are going to be featured on Stack League's website and our social media channels. Stack League will also be hosting numerous tech and career sessions all throughout the year. Aside from this, there are also exclusive trainings available for ranking up to the next challenger levels. These events and trainings are all for free. The Stack League Ambassador Program is a year-round initiative to reward Stack League challengers who go beyond the competition and inspire the nation and the coding. To tell you more about the Stack League Ambassador Program, here is a short clip for you. Congratulations to Darwin Pablo for being the Stack League Ambassador for March, winning the 3,000 peso cash prize and a Stack League t-shirt. And if you want to be the next Stack League Ambassador and win the cash prize and t-shirt, the program is now open for March. You can find the full mechanics at our website bit.ly/StackLeagueAmbassador 2022. In Stack League, there are 5 supported programming languages. We have JavaScript, Java, Python, C Sharp, and PHP. And this is how the ranking system works. After signing up, you start at the bottom with 0 points. All you need to do is solve as many challenges as you can and earn the corresponding points. So the more points you earn, the higher your ranking goes. Once you have accumulated enough points, you can now get to the next level challenges, where more opportunities are unlocked for you to access. There are three challenger levels. We have bronze, silver, and gold levels. For the challenger level of prizes, we have 100 for bronze, 100 for silver, and 300 for gold. Good news, StackLeague Treasure Chest individual category has been extended until the end of this year's competitive season. The weekly top 10 players will each receive 500 peso cash prize. And we also have the Stack League Playoffs. Stack League Playoffs is a single elimination tournament featuring all monthly qualifiers, where all weekly top 10 Stack League challengers will automatically be invited to the monthly qualifier rounds. To know more, here is another clip for you. And that is it for the overview of Stack League. And remember that as a year-round tournament, Stack League is looking for the best challengers that can stay up in the ranks and become programming leaders for the long haul. That's all on my end. Back to you, May.
Thank you, Chloe, for giving a short introduction of Stack League. So, all right, let's not delay any further. The Mozilla Philippines community is the official Mozilla supported community initiative in the Philippines. The community aims to support Mozilla in its mission to build the internet as a global public resource, open and accessible to all. They believe this can be achieved by promoting openness, innovation, and opportunity on the web. Our resource speaker is a Mozilla Reps mentor and tech speaker based in Makati City. He currently leads the localization efforts of Firefox and Common Voice in the Philippines. He is also a tech news columnist for the Manila Bulletin. Let's give a warm welcome to Robert Bob Reyes.
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me clearly? Okay. Yeah, okay. Sige. I'll just share my screen. Give me a second here. Uh, can you see this one? Anyone? Can you see my screen from here? Check, check, Chloe. Can you see this? Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. Okay, cool. Sige, may sumagot there. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so good evening. My name is Bob Reyes. So I'm here to talk about Common Voice. So let me introduce myself. So I belong to the Mozilla Tech Speakers Group and the Mozilla Reps team. We operate as a global nonprofit globally. So let me just tell you a short history of Mozilla. For those who know Firefox and use Firefox, thank you. Mozilla is the organization behind awesome products like the Firefox web browser. And we started way back a couple of years ago as Netscape Communications launched a project called Mozilla.org. So it's basically the open sourcing of the Netscape Communicator browser. And it eventually led to the development of what we know now as Firefox. As a global nonprofit, we have a manifesto. This is what we believe. We believe that there should be a healthy internet, and for it to happen, we need to have an open global internet, which is a powerful communications and collaboration resource. it will embody some of our deepest hopes for human progress. And for us to do that, we need to be committed to an internet that includes all the peoples of the earth. We also need to be committed to an internet that promotes civil discourse, human dignity, and individual expressions. Also, we need to have commitment to an internet that elevates critical thinking, reasoned argument, shared knowledge, and verifiable facts. And lastly, we need to be committed to an internet that catalyzes collaboration among diverse communities like what we have here in the Philippines. Speaking of the Philippines, Mozilla has been operating for more than a decade here in the country. At present, we have 4 Mozilla reps, including myself. We have 2 regional coordinators, one in Negros Island region and the other one in Northern Mindanao. And what's keeping us busy? We are trying to localize and or translate Firefox into the vernacular like Tagalog, Cebuano, and Hiligaynon. We are also advocating free and open source software, online security and privacy by means of social media, online events, and participating in lawmaking procedures. And we are trying to create a learning management system that will be accessible to the public uh, with regards to localization, privacy, web development, and Rust programming. We are best known for Firefox, as I'd mentioned earlier. And when we talk about Firefox, we are talking about the family of products that includes the browser, monitor, and a whole lot more. If you are using a mobile device, be it an Android or an iOS device, there is Firefox for you. And this is the latest version of Firefox. Lastly, okay, there. If for added security and added privacy online, we have this thing called Firefox Relay. So what it is an email relay service that we offer for free, uh, wherein you can generate a, an email address to hide your real email address so that when you subscribe to websites, subscribe to different services, you only give that email address and they will not know what your real email address is. But in turn, you will still receive the messages that are sent using that relay email. Okay, so if you are done using that relay email, just log in back to relay.firefox.com and delete it so that you will never heard from never hear from these websites where you use that particular relay email address. How to join the community? Here in the Philippines, we have a vibrant community of volunteers. Very simple. Just go to join.mozillaph.org. We need people of any background. Be you are a student, a professional, an out of school youth, anything. Okay, so we just need people to use and test our products, people to spread the word about free and open source software and online privacy, and people who are willing to learn and to be trained in helping other people become web literate. So in general, just to make people be more awesome online. We are on social media. Just check out linktree slash Mozilla PH for all the links. If you want to have Mozilla Philippines to talk in your schools, just send us an email via info@mozillaphilippines.org or chat with us via chat.mozilla.org. And to my talk now, okay, so allow me to talk for the next couple of minutes and introduce what Common Voice is. Anyone on the audience who had heard what or had tried what Mozilla Common Voice is, feel free to use the chat. Okay, so I see that some of you use Mozilla Firefox. Thank you. So just to be clear, Mozilla is the organization, Firefox is the product. Okay, so anyone here who had already tried using Common Voice or had heard what Common Voice is? I'll give a couple of seconds on the chat box. So feel free, just say yes if you had heard Common Voice before tonight. Okay? Cool. Sige. So what is Common Voice? Here. Mozilla Common Voice is an initiative, okay, to help teach machines, computers, how real people talk. Okay, you may be using AI powered devices, speakers, smartphones, whatever. You may be using voice assistants, voice aided tools, etc. Okay, that's cool. Okay, in one sense, and as a an IT tool, as something that tries to learn by by its users using it, okay? They collect data. They record your voice. And where do these companies use it? In many things, okay? This data collected by large companies is not available to the majority of people. If you are going to create something that will need vast amount of data, collected data, say voice, okay, and try to ask the big companies, I bet by default they will say no, we will not share this data. And we at Mozilla, we think that that basically stifles or suffocates innovation. You cannot do anything because you do not have the data. And for you to collect this data, for those who are into machine learning, you know that it will take some time, vast amount of data for the computers to learn, especially when there is voice related activities. Mozilla Common Voice is a project to help make voice recognition open and accessible to everyone. So the website is commonvoice.mozilla.org. Later, I'll have a short demo. All you need to have is a web browser and internet connection for it to work. So Common Voice is publicly available as a publicly available voice data set. So if you are working on personal projects, if you are working on school projects, or even for commercial projects, you may want to use Common Voice. It's readily available from the website. It is powered by voices of volunteer contributors like me and many other people here in the Philippines and around the world. People who want to build voice applications can use the dataset to train machine learning models for free. Okay, so we will provide the dataset, the voice dataset for free. Voice datasets are biased. So when we talk about machine learning, there's always this thing called being biased. Okay. Right now, what is available at hand, they overrepresent white English speaking males. Okay. So that's why when you use voice enabled technology, sometimes they will only understand English, okay? And then most of these technologies they will use an English speaking male, okay, as the base of the whatever they're doing, okay? Voice enabled technology doesn't work at all for many languages, including Filipino or Tagalog if you're using Tagalog, okay? And where it does work, it may not perform equally well for everyone. That's why we say that it is biased. So if you are working on a machine learning project that deals with voice technology, how much data do you need to have? Okay? Ilang data set ang kailangan mo para gumana yung ginagawa mo? And based on estimates, if you are using a command-based model, just like what you're using for Google Home, Amazon Echo, and stuff, or Siri, okay, maybe you need as a base something like 1 to 300 hours of voice training, okay? So it can be for command-based models, limited or fully known vocabulary like voice assistants without general queries, yung mga tipong you just tell them what's the weather, okay, or what is the time, okay. For those who are using navigation tools, okay, like maps and the different driving tools and navigation softwares on your mobile phone or your smartphone, ganun kakonti lang kailangan mo, somewhere between 1 to 300 to begin with, okay, to begin with. Very simple. Now, if you are working on something that has limited vocabulary, okay, that involves continuous speech recognition, uh, you may need somewhere between 300 to 1,000 hours recording, okay, for the data set, okay? And then if you are working on something that has near human accuracy requirement, okay, or ASR, automatic speech recognition, for English, you will need somewhere between 1,000 to 2,000 hours worth of voice recording or data. And of course, if you are working on something that is of high quality, general large vocabulary and continuous speech recognition model, or like yung pinagsama-sama ng tatlong category kanina, you will need minimum 2,000 hours of voice recordings up to something like 10,000 hours. Okay? You do the math. How many hours are there in a day? And for you to get 10,000 hours worth of recording, how many days or how many years will it take you? Okay? Ganun siya kadugo. Okay? So when we talk about machine learning, when we try to train the computer, etc., etc. Okay? So and when we talk about machine learning, it's somewhat related to artificial intelligence or AI. Okay? So yun yung relationship ng mga yon. And think of this, for voice recognition to work, depending on the level, you need this much number of hours worth of data. So, paano gagana yung common voice? Okay? One, what we intended is what we had is we designed common voice to have a conveyor belt type of system. Okay, so we have two things that runs common voice: the text corpus and the voice corpus. Okay, so how does it work? It's as simple as this. For the text corpus to work, people, volunteers like you and me, we add sentences in plain words, okay? And then someone checks on it, sentence control, okay? That's for the text corpus. We are talking about typewritten, inputted text to the computer. And then for the voice corpus, people, volunteers like you and me, we record sentences and then someone can validate it. You and me, volunteers, can also listen and say if it is right or not. Okay. So if one process fails, the production rate or the quality drops. So monitoring, dedication, time, and a crowd is needed for this to work. So first things first, Common Voice uses conversational text or speech. Okay? Mamaya we will go how hard it is to collect the text and the voices that we need for this to work in the local language. So Common Voice is general purpose. It is not specifically made to work on a particular application, method, or model. And the data set that is generated by Common Voice is not a clean data set. Okay. So for those who are working with machine learning, you know what a clean data set means. Okay. And as early as now, I'm telling you that Common Voice is not a clean data set. Okay. Both text corpus and voice corpus entries should be in Creative Commons or CC0, CC0. Okay. No copyright reserved, and they should be in the public domain. So that's the dilemma that we have right now. For us to input words, phrases, sentences in Common Voice using Filipino or Tagalog, we need to have something like 2,000 of those, and they should be in the public domain. Nobody owns the copyright to them. And medyo mahirap sa language natin. In English, it's easy. Okay? The requirements are for the text corpus to work when you submit words for validation later on. They should be a maximum of 14 words with up to 100 characters only. And for the voice corpus collection, they should be a minimum of 15 seconds and a minimum of 1.5 seconds and a maximum of 14 seconds. Okay. Okay. Now, Common Voice in Tagalog. The Firefox web browser is currently available in Tagalog. The one I'm using right now is in Tagalog. If you want to try it out, you can go to this link later and install it, or go to the Firefox download page and make sure that you select from the different languages, because by default it will give you the English version of Firefox. Now, Common Voice in Tagalog is currently under development. We are not able to uh, give people the option, volunteers, the option to validate sentences in Common Voice, because we only have 821 sentences out of the 2,000 required. So this is how it goes. Okay, so when we go later to the Common Voice page, you will see that Tagalog, the localization part is 45% done. And for the sentences, the barometer there says that it is 821 over 2,000. This is already a progress, because prior to an update several days ago, what was required for each and every language to appear on the Common Voice project is something like 5,000 strings. Okay. When we talk about strings, it can be as short as three words to as long as a one sentence string. Okay. So we are talking about sentence collection here. Okay. So this is where we need people like you to the audience right now. So we need your help. We need people to, one, help us populate the database for the development of Common Voice in Tagalog. So we'll start with Tagalog first. I know that we have audiences from all over the Philippines. Why Tagalog? One, it is the most commonly used and widely used language first. So we often do things first in Tagalog. We experiment on it, and whatever we learn, that's what we try to adapt on different languages. So for Firefox, the web browser, we are done with the Tagalog version, and right now we are doing the Cebuano and Hiligaynon translation. Okay, whatever learnings we had when we translated the software to Tagalog, we are applying to the different languages. Okay, there is someone from the United States started translating Firefox into Ilocano, but he is a one-man show. So it will take some time for him to finish it. If you know how to help him, feel free. Everything that we do at Mozilla is open source, and all of our software are basically in the GitHub. So how to volunteer for Common Voice? One, you can sign up via commonvoice.mozilla.org. But though later when I do the demo, you will see that even if you're not logged in or if you don't sign up, it is possible. It will work, except that there's no way for us to know who our contributors are. So if you want to be recognized as a contributor to the Common Voice project, I suggest that you sign up so that you can also track your progress and your contributions. We are currently doing the second part, which is to contribute sentences by the sentence collector. For discussions, we have Slack and we have Element or Matrix chat. Okay, so these are the links. Okay, so I know that this is recorded via Facebook Live and YouTube, so that you can go back with this slide later on. Okay, but if you have questions, feel free to send us a message via the social media channels of Mozilla Philippines, or send us an email via info@mozillaphilippines.org. And this is the demo. So how to contribute to Common Voice. Okay, so I'll just switch my window. So, sige, before that, so may mga tanong. I'll just pass through some of the questions that I saw already. What is the minimum specs of hardware that would do for Common Voice? Any machine, any computer, even a smartphone, for you to contribute to Common Voice will do. For as long as it can run on any web browser, not even Firefox only, okay? For any web browser that is connected to the internet, that would do, okay? Um, Question about the linguistics part of Common Voice. How would Common Voice cope with the upcoming trends in new words slang? That is the thing, okay? So we are trying to develop is a rule, okay, on how we use language. I had a talk a couple of weeks ago, and the theme of my talk is that how the kids of today are no longer speaking Filipino or Tagalog for that instance, okay? They may be even speaking Korean or Japanese more and even English than the vernacular. And that is the sad thing. But uh, we try to make Common Voice and Mozilla Localization, that's another project, as tools for us to teach the kids, okay? The new generation, the generation now, to learn and embrace and love the national language. And when we talk about the national language, it's Filipino. It is not just Tagalog, okay? Um, the other question is, how does it fix accent spoke? That is when you try to validate sentences. The machine will try to learn how words are being spoken, say by Filipinos. Okay, so the accents will not fix the accents, but it will learn how Filipinos are speaking, say English, a particular word. You will see in my demo. Okay. So, is there a Cebuano voice dataset available on Common Voice? Wala pa. Right now, we are working on the Tagalog, the Filipino one. Wala pang Cebuano. But for Mozilla localization, for Firefox, there is a Cebuano project that is ongoing. Okay, so I'll go and switch over to my demo screen. Okay, give me a second. Cannot see my Firefox screen. Kaya lang ha. Ha, ha, ha. Give me 1 second. There. Okay. Cool. There. Okay. So when you go to commonvoice.mozilla.org, this is what you see. So remember that when I told you earlier that it works like a conveyor belt and it has two parts, the text corpus and the voice corpus. For the voice corpus, this is what we basically do. Okay. So it's either you speak, you will be shown some text, and the website will record your voice on how you read sentences. Okay, and on the listen part, okay, that's what I'm going to do right now. It will play recorded voices based on specific sentences or collected strings, and you will tell if it was read correctly by that person. Okay, so let's go here, Common Voice. Okay, so I'll go to listen. This is in English, so we don't have this in Filipino yet. Okay, so this is the text. Kita ba? Okay, let me see. Yup, kita. Okay, so that is the text. Okay, so from this, he concluded that music theory had come to more scientific and pedagogical. Okay, so I hit on the play button. Okay, so if you had heard of it, I'm not sure if the sound went through. Okay, but if you had heard of it, you can tell Common Voice if that person read it correctly or no. Okay, so merong button tabi ng play, yes and no. So yun lang sabihin mo, yes and no. Kung narinig mo siya ng tama, sa tingin ko tama naman yung pagkakabasa, so it was like a kid. So I'll just say yes. Okay, So I'll go on to the next sentence, okay?
Nung ilang nagbigtan member siyang Freeport World Show.
Okay, so most probably, okay. Oh, next.
Proper cells are dispersed in the soldiers to send for themselves.
Okay, okay. So here,
The village high street includes a small supermarket, cobblers, and bakery.
okay. And the last one. So for every session, you see, I did not log in. Okay, I just went to commonvoice.mozilla.org, click on lesson, did not log in, and then I started. You are actually contributing by doing this.
He attended the University of Puget Sound.
Okay, yes. And there, I'm done. So if you want to contribute 5 uh validations per day, that is totally fine. Okay? So that will mean a lot for the project because at least 5 of those sentences had been validated. Okay? And then it will go on to the database that is used by Common Voice, and it will try to process things that, hey, this is how it is, how this word is being spoken and by this particular person, say a kid, an adult, a male or a female, etc. Okay, so that is how it works. For the other part, so let's see. Let's go to speak. You will be the one who's going to donate your voice to the project. Okay, so when you hit the microphone button, you will have to read what is shown on the screen, and the website will record your voice so that other people will be able to validate if you are able to read it correctly. Okay, we don't know who these people are. Okay, we don't know. Okay, we are just listening. Or if you want to donate your voice to the Common Voice project, then this is the part. So it's speak and listen. Okay, so that's simple. By doing that, you are already part of the Mozilla project and you are contributing via Common Voice. Okay, so what are the resources that we have for the Common Voice project? The data. Sorry. Okay, sorry. I will have to switch back. Okay. So what are the resources that we have? Okay, pakilagay sa there. Okay. So for the Common Voice projects, for this project, we have resources for the data set. So if you are working on a specific project that will need voice data sets, we have published some in English and other languages that are available now. You can go to commonvoice.mozilla.org slash say for English en slash datasets. Okay. If you want to contribute sentences so that we will be able to finish the 2,000 sentence requirement for Tagalog or Filipino for this particular instance, you can go to commonvoice.mozilla.org slash sentence dash collector. And for those who are asking how to be part of the localization project, when we talk about localization, we are translating Mozilla websites and products that would include Firefox, both for desktop and for Android. Okay? Sa mga nagtatanong, wala bang localization ng Firefox for iOS? Wala. Kasi primarily, yung mismong iOS, walang Filipino, walang Tagalog na language. Okay? So it will be useless for us to translate the product to that language kasi it will not be supported by the operating system. Okay? So right now, we have localization efforts that are ongoing in Tagalog, Cebuano, and Hiligaynon. There are style guides on how we do things, okay? Especially for the technical terms. We don't translate them. You will not see window, the computer window translated into bintana. We don't do that, okay? Window is window, okay? Or Windows is Windows. And those kinds of stuff. So these are the links that I can offer to you right now. And if you want to join Mozilla feel free to visit our social media channels and simply go to join.mozillaph .org. I already have notifications that some people from the audience already signed up using that link. And yeah, so if you have questions that I haven't answered yet, this is the best time. I'm trying to look at the... Yep, sige, Chloe, go ahead. Sorry, May pala. Sorry. Sorry,
All
May.
right. So thank you very much, Bob, for that very enlightening and insightful presentation. That knowing that many of our participants and viewers are from various types of courses that involve technology and have expressed interest in the future trends of the IT industry. So this is the most exciting part of our session tonight. So we are now opening the floor for questions from our participants. Yes, there are questions asked before that Bob answered, but you have still time to keep up with the questions right now in the Q&A session. So
I saw one here. Does Mozilla.org has any open job opportunities for fresh graduates? Yes, you can go to careers.mozilla.org. For one, please take note that we do not have an office in the Philippines. If ever you will be accepted, it's either you will work remotely or you will have to go to a specific Mozilla office. Currently, we have 8 globally. And we don't have in the Philippines. If you are looking for internship opportunities, we do have at Mozilla, but right now, because of the pandemic, it is currently on hold.
all right. So thank you, Michael, for that question. Another question from Facebook from Rico. He asked, "Do you think implementing a speech analytics solution should be done in phases?"
Yes, should be done in phases because it's hard to implement something like that. But the thing is, when you try to do speech analytics, we will have to weigh things like privacy, of course, computing power, and many other things. So the best way to go about it is to do it in phases.
All right. So thank you, Rico, for that question. Another question from Facebook from Denris. He asked, "Can we take any internship in Mozilla PH, like online internships?"
Yeah. So right now, here in the Philippines, as I mentioned earlier, we do not have an office, so we cannot take in interns. But previously, those who applied for internship when before the pandemic, they can have it at any Mozilla office globally. The nearest before was in Japan, in Taiwan, but now most of the interns are in the States, Berlin, and in London.
All right. So thank you for your question, Denris. From Facebook again, from Cora Mercado. She asked, "Who checks whether the sentence or words are read correctly? Is there a team of phoneticians?"
Okay, yeah, thank you, Cora. This is a crowdsource project. So that's why people will have to validate if they understood what they heard based on the demo that I had earlier. So based on whatever the website will be collecting, say say is that mine? Okay. So if the website will see that many of those who validated said that whatever they heard was a no, then it will be a no for that particular sentence. There is currently there's not we don't have a team of phoneticians. So there's this question, how to use Mozilla Common Voice. The dataset generated by Mozilla Common Voice can be used in many projects. If you have your own project, you may want to try what the Common Voice dataset is currently offering you. That's from Rico. So let's say you want to create your own application that deals with voice recognition, but you don't have a data set, you may want to play with the data set generated by Common Voice. How does this is from John Renz Marquez. How does the database work for such resources of common sourcing speech? What do you mean by how does the database work? The database is basically a collection of speech data. So it depends on how you would want to use it on your project. Then it's up to you to manipulate. Yes. Anything else? Yep. Yep. Okay. Sorry. Live. Is there this is from Ichi, is there an alternative of this initiative that can be used by people with disability, something that will connect them to tech similar to this? I'm not particularly aware of anything yet. At Mozilla, we do not have anything similar to that for for people with disabilities. But maybe soon we can come up with something like that. So this has something to do with the different this tools that you can have when you are differently able. Uh, yep, we don't have something like that for the public yet. Anything else? Sige lang, we still have time. From where is the of those watching tonight, from where is the farthest? Anyone from outside the Philippines? Okay, Q&A. I'll just go back to maybe where is that? Okay, this one. Okay, so does the system will not work well if there's a lot of background noise? What could be the possible solution for this? Okay, yeah, just like in any speech recognition and voice training software or application out there, of course, you will need to suppress background noise. There should be minimal background noise or no background noise at all for it to work well. Okay. Right now, if you are hearing me loud and clear, I'm using a software to remove the background noise. So I have an electric fan and air conditioning and maybe some other noise here in the room. So that the software is trying to suppress that. The software uses AI so that it can determine which is background noise and which is my voice. So something like that. Okay. I'll just have to go back here. Sorry lang ha. Sige. While we wait for the host to be back. Okay. There you go. Yeah. So I have my screen again back on. Okay. Yeah. Can I have my gear? Okay. So these are our social media channels. Or you can just go to linktree/Mozilla PH. All of the links are there. If you want to get in touch with us, if you want to chat with us, just go to chat.mozilla.org. It's powered by Matrix. Search for the Mozilla Philippines room. If I'm not there, someone from the Mozilla Philippines community will be there. You may also explore the different chat rooms that we have. Uh, most of the Mozilla engineers are hanging out there. Feel free to ask questions. Members of the community from different parts of the world are also there. That's the beauty of being in an open source project. Okay. So what else? Since so Ichigo is asking, since it's public po, are there issues regarding security? Okay. This is just a collection of data sets. So security will not be an issue. It's just like collecting collecting text, okay? Words, sentences, okay? And then validating it. So yung security part will be on the part of that person or entity using the data to create something. So yung mga gumagawa ng apps. So what we're doing at Common Voice is just the collection and validation of voice so that it will be publicly available for those who want to use the dataset. When it comes to privacy, you saw the demo. I did not log in if you don't want to log in, and we are not asking for private personal information. Okay. Anything else? Uh, Okay, Cecilio is asking, could you possibly utilize also for accents and speech recognition because programs may also have problems recognizing speech as normal if your voice changes. Say, when you have a cold, cough, sinus, or throat problems. Right now, not yet. That's why we said that the data collected by the data set being presented by Common Voice is not yet clean. So what we can offer is that the raw data set for you to use. And if you want to clean this particular data set, you are free to do so. Yeah, maybe this is related to the previous question of Ichi. For example, people taking the voice and using it for purposes that may become a concern like creating fake videos, etc. That is beyond the project. Okay. So it's like we give them the data set, and to where do they use the data set, there is a it may be it may be covered by rules of free and open source software. Okay. Of course, we try to promote privacy and security, pero it goes beyond Parang if I create something open source and people fork it and use it for, say, fake videos, it will be beyond the control. Dennis is asking, can we integrate maybe Common Voice to a particular system, projects that could be published in public, like creating an app for virtual assistants and publish it on Play Store? Yes, that's possible. Okay. Stephen is asking, can I use Common Voice for Filipino speech to text? Right now, we do not have Filipino yet. We don't have Filipino yet. That's what we are trying to build first. The sentences that needs to be validated. But once it is done, then the data set for Filipino will appear. And the data sets are being updated on a regular basis. Okay? Not if you will go to the Common Voice website and click on the data sets for you to download, those are updated on a regular basis.
All right. So I'm so sorry for the inconvenience, but we're back. We're back. So
it happens.
yeah. So still the show must go on. So we are taking one last question for this session. So keep your questions coming in the comment section. Yes, come on. We are taking one last question for this session.
Ganito siguro, after the Holy Week, on the last Saturday of April, the community will be calling for an online meetup related to Common Voice. If you have questions that are not answered tonight or you're too shy to ask, that will be an online meetup that is open to the public. But of course, you have to RSVP to get the link. And yeah, we can talk things there. It's a Saturday evening thing, something like 8 p.m. until 9 or 10 p.m.
Yes, and if you need more details, you can connect with Bob after this session, and you could reach Bob and Mozilla PH via their social media platform. So, and I guess there's no more questions
Yep.
tonight. So, yeah, so before we dive into our announcement, is there anything else you want to add, Bob?
Okay, so right now, the announcements that we already, but most of the announcements related to the activities of the Mozilla Philippines community, we announced them via our social media channels and our website. Pero ito lang, may dalawang pahabol na tanong. I just want to answer them. Cora is asking, will it be available then aside from Tagalog, Hiligaynon, and Cebuano? Yes, ma'am. We are working on it. So the first one, the next one is, what algorithm used in verifying the voice who owns it? Is it possible to identify the person through ML? I'm not sure of what you mean by identifying the person. If you are trying to say, if we identify the particular person who recorded the voice, we are not doing it. What algorithm is used in verifying the voice who owns it? We do not do that. Okay. It's just a matter of yes and no when you validate on the website.
Okay,
Okay,
all
yun
right.
lang.
So, thank you, Loreto Gutierrez, for your question. So that's it for our Q&A session. So I just want to say again that if you need more details or you have questions that you are so shy to ask, you can connect with Bob after the session and reach him or Mozilla PH in via social media platform. So thank you to everyone for your questions, and thank you, Bob, for answering our participants' question, and of course for that very insightful presentation.
Maraming salamat sa ulitin.
Thank you, Bob. All right. So now let us go and dive in to the announcement. So here are the upcoming StackLeague events for the month of April. So our first is StackLeague Philippine Information Technology Organization Tech Session, the rise of intelligent automations on April 13, Wednesday at 6 p.m. We also have on April 20, StackLeague GDG Cagayan de Oro Tech Session, how to create a simple style guide for the design development, hands off, also at 6 p.m. Next is Stack League Angel Hack Manila, Intro to Angel Hack and Community Building on April 27, also at 6 p.m. And last, Stack League Coding Chiefs Career Session Roadmap to Senior Programmer on April 28th, Thursday, also at 6 p.m. So there are so many and plenty of opportunities for you to learn here in StackLeague. So go ahead to fb.com/StackLeague/events for the registration details and get the latest updates. So to help StackLeague team improve the sessions for you, answer this 5-minute questions form. So bit.ly/StackLeague guest sessions feedback, or you can scan the QR code flash on your screen. Also, Stack League Ambassador for April is now accepting entry, so you could earn your ambassador points now. You can visit bit.ly/Stack League Ambassadors 2022. And also, don't forget to make sure to earn league points to unlock the challenger levels and receive the prizes. So that's all for the April announcement. On behalf of the StackLeague team, I would like to thank you to everybody for joining the StackLeague Mozilla PH Tech session, Mozilla Common Voice, Crowdsourcing Speech, Data for Public Good. And if you don't have a StackLeague account yet, make sure to sign up now at stackleague.com, and of course, invite your friends and family who you think should be part of the league. So see you guys at the next StackLeague event. So this has been your host, May, and good night, everyone.